Good evening. My name is Doug Pasquarello, and I'm the vice principal here at the high school. I'd like to welcome you on behalf of Mr. Van Etten, who cannot be with us tonight. He would love to be with us, but is tending to some family business. Mr. Turk and our Board of Education, welcome to our holiday concert. Couple of house reminders. First and foremost, by the way, thank you. I was checking, there was a lot of you here early in the hallway, and I know the doors were locked, and I just wanted to check with Mr. D. I didn't know if they were doing some secret mission before you guys came in, so I appreciate all of you waiting out there. I did see you. I didn't walk past you like I did not notice you. I saw you, so I appreciate you patiently waiting. Mr. D arrived here a little bit shortly, ran into a transportation issue on the way down on 81. If anybody who traveled 81 this evening, there was an accident, overturned truck, which normally takes him a half hour to get here. It took him an hour and a half. So jazz band, by the way, missed a practice, but you won't notice. You won't notice. Monday we had a snowstorm. Thank you, Mr. Turk. But the jazz band thanks you. No, they don't. But they're ready. And on a serious note, great sound. What I really love about our school and our students, our sound is powerful. Our sound is beautiful. It's in sync. It's great. So without further ado, you don't want to hear from me, so let me give you a couple of housekeeping. Ready? Exits. To the front and the back, please, orderly fashion. If we have to, in a case of emergency, make your way out to the exits. Cell phones. It's always that awkward thing. Someone's going to happen to you tonight. Check it now, because you don't want to be that one that everybody turns to. All right? Put that either on vibrate or silent, because the last thing we want to hear is your Star Wars theme song. All right? I know, it's coming out, but we don't want to hear it now. All right. Let them play the music, Mr. D. So with that being said, as you can see, the jazz ensemble is ready for you. Our concert band will be ready in a minute. They're upstairs. But enjoy the show. Happy holidays, and welcome to our December concert.
Okay, so we're going to get started with a big band classic called In the Mood. Okay. So this next one, Win Some, Blues Some, it's one of the most important jazz idioms is the blues. And we're going to feature a lot of people on this one. I really encourage, I think a big part of being in jazz band is doing improvisation, making up a solo as you go with no music whatsoever. I think it's really important for a jazz band. So blues is where we get a lot of our starts from. And this piece is going to kind of migrate around a lot of different keys. We're going to feature a whole slew of people right now. Some of them volunteers and some of them handpicked by me with some arm twisting, obviously. So this is a really kind of neat tune called Win Some, Blues Some. And it pretty much features everybody. All right. So, yeah, we got to hear a lot of people on that one. And this group, just so you know, meets once a week at best. And really wish we had that rehearsal back right now on Monday, but that's the way it goes. I do enjoy a snow day, that's for sure. So solos on that, I don't know if you caught the first, but the first one was actually Joy right from the beginning on piano, Brandon on tenor sax, Cami on trumpet, Jenna on alto sax, Rachel Morgan on trumpet, Ellis, Hannah, which I almost got to her, sorry about that, Hannah, and Maddie with a kind of a long extended solo on trombone. Our next piece, we will be doing some holiday pieces, but I think this next piece really captures the holiday spirit just as well as any traditional Christmas tune. And this is Pure Imagination. Most of you will know that from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And just the whole idea of the wonder and awe of whatever season you're in. I think this really is appropriate for right now. So this is Pure Imagination is going to feature Stephen on alto sax. And I think this will be really nice. Stephen Gilbert. So I try to pick, when I'm picking tunes for jazz band or concert band, a variety of styles. This one has a little Latin flair. I'm a really extra big fan of Latin music. And this is a really nice arrangement of Home for the Holidays. And we're going to feature two players right now, Ryan on trumpet and Hannah on bari sax. Is that right? I hope that's right. Oh, sorry. Nick Crewman on alto. Sorry, Nick. Nick and Hannah. Sorry to scare you, Ryan. So I was looking at my notes for the next song, so we already know who the soloists are for that one. But that one actually did have Ryan McLaughlin and then Nick Crewman on alto sax. First sax solo here at the high school, and really nice job. Yes. All right. Our next song is is a really nice blues also, but it's a minor blues. And that has a different feel altogether. So there's not a lot to say about it, but we are going to feature, this time we will feature Hannah on bari sax, and Ryan's going to take another solo on trumpet. And these solos are going to be a little more extended, so they're not just like 12 bars and sit down. They're not like 10-second solos. They're kind of a little more extended. So a little more pressure is put upon these people. And again, I thank them for when, it just says like open for solos. So I'm like, who wants a solo? And sometimes nobody puts their hand up, but then, like in this case, a couple people said, I'll do a solo. And I think that really takes a lot of guts, and I applaud them for taking that step. So this is just a minor thing. Yeah, so without that rehearsal Monday, we're kind of talking through things on the fly here, making sure we know what's going on, because we haven't met in a few weeks. So we have one more tune for you tonight, and we're just getting warmed up right now. So this last one is a really neat arrangement of God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen. It's called Jazz and Merry Gentlemen. And we will have solos by Claudia Card. Wow. Okay. Raymond Joy on piano, and Jenna again, and Ellis again. And that's this is going to be our final piece of the jazz band portion for tonight. We're going to do something hopefully new and maybe revolutionary. If we get a second chance at all this stuff in a couple weeks, on December 16th, we're going to play at the varsity basketball game versus Cortland. So you get a second chance to hear this, and we'll get a second chance to play it for you, some of these tunes. And I think this will hopefully be kind of a neat way to introduce jazz to maybe some other community members that may not be here tonight. And so thank you for coming. We are going to finish with Jazz and Merry Gentlemen. I should also preface this. There's when Mr. Wakeman was here, there's a tune a couple years ago called Big Noise from the North Pole that they would play that like 24/7 if they could. I always get requests for it. And this is a tune a lot like this, kind of in the style of Gene Krupa way back in the day, and it's just a really, it just has that kind of style to it. So it's not big noise, but it's pretty close. So that's as good as we're going to get for tonight. We're going to pause just for a second. We're going to do a yearbook picture really quick with the jazz band, full jazz band, and then when the concert band is seated, we'll do one also with the concert band. Is there he is? Is it possible to get lights? Oh, it is perfect? All right. I'll take your word for it. I'm not a photographer. All right, we're going to get one more picture with the concert band right now. This for posterity, the 2019-20 concert band. Okay, so a while back, there was this really cool guy. He was like one of the coolest guys that I knew when I was about 20-ish or so, so a long time ago. And he used to write orchestration for the Syracuse Symphony. He was the Syracuse Symphony pianist, but he did a lot of arrangements for concert band and for orchestra. A lot of the pops things that happen in the symphony he arranged. And he left this world about, I think, 15-ish years ago. But he was just like an amazing guy, and I really idolized him. He not only played the piano, he played every instrument in the orchestra really well. I've never seen anything like it. He could pick up a trombone and play it just as well as a violin. I mean, at a good level, and just for clarification there. And he played every instrument. He had such a great working knowledge of every instrument, and it really made him a really good composer and arranger. He mostly did arranging. I don't think I've ever actually played any of his compositions, although I know he did. And that person was kind of a hidden jewel in Syracuse, Calvin Custer. And we are going to honor him, hopefully, with one of his arrangements right now for band, and it's a variation on "Do You Hear What I Hear?" One thing we forgot to mention about Calvin Custer, because he had such good working knowledge of all the instruments, usually his arrangements are really difficult. In fact, that's one of the reasons that the professionals in the Syracuse Symphony Orchestra like playing his pieces is not only do they sound nice, but they also are quite a challenge, and that was no exception. And we have again a varying range of different styles of pieces and at different levels, and that was a pretty tough one. And this next one is also a really, really tough one. Again, we have this is the only class where you mix the very beginner with the very advanced and throw them all into one room, and then put on a public display for for you guys. So. We have different levels of pieces. That was a pretty tough one. Like I said, this next one's tougher still. This is Korean folk song variations, and it's based on a Korean love song. And we learned that it uses a pentatonic scale, kind of like the pentagon. It only has 5 notes in it. But what this composer does with just 5 notes is really quite remarkable. And it's really, really interesting and really varied, and everyone's really got to be on their toes for this one. So this is Korean folk song variations. All right, and kind of an extra big hand for Emily Daniels and Abby on the oboe solo there. That was really nice. So I feel like I can breathe a little bit easier now because all our hard pieces are kind of behind us. This next piece is a really fun one, a brand new one out just this year. And I'm actually going to dedicate this one to Mr. Schiffman. I don't know how many of you know this, but Mr. Schiffman was Jewish. To my knowledge, he never played anything from Hanukkah. It was always like just straight ahead Christmas tunes. So we are going to play this Hanukkah collage. It's a really neat arrangement of a bunch of Hanukkah tunes. And I think, again, just for exposure, to know there's other things out there, is really good. And this is a really nice arrangement, and we're going to dedicate this one to Mr. Schiffman. And as always happens, we just come rapidly to a close right now. All our work just seemed like, it's like the Olympics, like you train for years. This takes like 30 seconds and you're done. Yeah, I think we have a pretty good night tonight. I'm really pleased with so far what's been happening with the kids behind me. They've really been doing a great job, and I think tonight went really well. I had a little theory of why it went so well tonight. I just knew it was going to go well in advance because Homer has two things that no other school has that guarantees we're going to have a perfect holiday concert every time, and those two things are hope, comfort, and joy. It's like, so, no other school has that. So before we end for tonight, at the beginning of the year, I always ask the kids, what kind of tunes they want to play. Obviously, that's in my best interest too. If they're playing tunes that they like, that's kind of keeps them here. So that's a good thing. So number one on everybody's list, Disney tunes. That's number one. Then after that, things from a movie, like any movie scores. And then after that, believe it or not, marches. And this next piece combines all three of those. This is a Disney movie way back when. And it is a march, and like I said, it is a movie. So kind of fits all those criteria. And when you go to band director school, one of the things they teach you is that you should always end your program with a march. And we are going to do that tonight. So thank you for coming. Just so you know, you'll be seeing these hopefully pretty soon. The boosters are selling right now. They're $10 coupon cards, kind of similar to the ones the football team does. And these cards have multiple coupons that you can use again and again and again throughout the whole year. So they may save you 5%, but if there's a business that's on there that you frequently, if you go there frequently, you can save 5% every time you go there. So over the course of the year, it's can really add up there. So hopefully you will be seeing those pretty soon. The kids will be getting those, and they will also be at all of the other concerts. I think they were probably somebody outside tonight. So if you haven't already, they make great gifts for anybody on your list that's in this area. And we are going to end with Babes in Toyland. Thank you for coming tonight. Before we end, I'd just like to thank big thanks to Alex, our sound and light person. I always forget him, so I'm trying to make a mental note to thank him first. And also to Mr. Pasquarella for being here tonight, and all the administration that really make it possible for us to do what we need to do. They're very helpful. If we get into a jam, they find a way to help us through that, and it's much appreciated. To all the staff here at Homer High School for allowing the kids to continually miss classes for their lessons and hopefully make them up. Yes. So, we have a pretty good working relationship, I think, here at the high school. We all work together very well. And a really big thanks to the kids on the stage behind me, young adults, I should say. Like I said, these are you guys have done such a great job with these kids. They are the most cooperative. I came in here tonight, as Mr. Pasquarella said, I'm playing a show in Syracuse right now. If you are going to be there next week, My Fair Lady, they're doing a revival. And this is the first touring company that's going out. So they're practicing the show in Syracuse, and Syracuse next week is going to see the very first performance of the touring company of My Fair Lady. And rehearsal ended at 5. I got plenty of time to be here, and no, the tractor trailer rollover maybe get here about 6:45, so I'm like in a panic. But the kids are great, and help me get stands and chairs and instruments, and just throughout the years, things have been really good. I'm very encouraged about what fine young adults you guys have raised. So we're going to end tonight with Babes in Toyland. Please come next week to the choir concert, same time a week from today. And if I don't see you, have a great holiday season. We'll see you in the new year, March. And check the dates in the program. Have all the dates for the things that we're doing this year. And thank you very much for coming tonight.